The Kid in the Crib, a Dr. Seuss parody by Lex Friedman, illustrated by Felix Slater. Hush, hush. Her cries did not stop. She was too mad to snore. She spat up in the crib. She spat up on the floor. We tried to console her. We tried to, we too. And we said how we wished we had half of a clue. The kid wouldn't sleep. The kid wouldn't nurse. Our cute little blessing was more of a curse. So all we could say was just hush, 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 hush. And was it effective? Well, not at first blush. Fart, and then something went fart. And that fart gave us a start. We looked and we realized it had been the kid. We turned and concluded what baby just did. And we said to each other, "It's your turn this time." She said, "I did the last one, but mine had more slime." "I know what to do," I said in a soft whisper. "Loser must change her. Quick, rock, paper, scissors." My wife threw out paper, and I threw out rock. And I said, "The rules of this game are a crock. A rock versus paper, how could paper win?" "No matter, you lost," my wife said with a grin. I scooped up the baby, she cried and she cried, as if we'd declared that her grandma just died. I set down the baby and checked my supplies. I opened the diaper and tuned out her cries. And then I said, "No, no, what has happened in there? Did you nurse her or feed her fresh meat from a bear?" That poop was not human. That poop seemed so phony. That poop looked like mustard and tar and bologna. Now, have no fear, said my wife. Her poop won't stay gross throughout all of her life. I disagreed, but just nodded a yes. I wanted to change without a big mess. The baby was writhing as I held my breath and wiped away smells of wet dog hair and death. "Put it on," said my wife. "You are going too slow." "Put it on," said my wife. "I think she's going to blow." I wish that our baby could use the commode, and I whispered a prayer. "Please, oh please, don't explode." As I fastened the diaper, my wife slowly sat up, and that's about when our dear baby spat up. "Look at this, look at that stuff," I cried out. "Call an exorcist," my wife replied with a shout. The kid spat up white, the kid spat up green, the kid spat up more spit up than we'd ever seen. She spat up on the table, she spat up on the wall, she spat up on my t-shirt, and she started to bawl. But that was not all, oh no, that was not all. After a moment, she stopped all her shrieking, but then my wife said, "Dear, I think that she's leaking. Her diaper's distended, her diaper looks mushy, and it's sure not containing what's come from her tushy." Now I had just changed her, had just wiped her rear, so I said to the missus, "It's your turn now, dear." My wife didn't speak, she just gave me a glare, or perhaps you might call it her evil death stare. But slowly she stood, while I smiled quite brightly, and softly she said, "I'll put this one on rightly." So she changed the baby, she changed baby quick, and when she was finished, baby didn't get sick. But did baby stop crying? No, baby did not. Baby's head spewed both tears and some gushers of snot. "I'll take her downstairs," I cried over her roaring. 6 seconds later, my wife resumed snoring, and baby and I went downstairs to calm her. Her wails could drown out a dang F-18 bomber. The screams turned to sobs, the sobs slowed to moaning. We sat on the couch and watched DVRD Conan. I dozed off for a moment or more on reflection, but don't tell the folks down at Child Protection. The kid was not dropped, the kid did not fall, so no need to tell them or the missus at all. I awoke to a show that was not controversial, not Conan, but rather some lame infomercial. And when I woke up, I saw baby was sleeping. I slowly stood up and then started my creeping. I tiptoed to the stairs, which took 2 weeks. I tried to avoid the big step and its creaks. It was 3 a.m. now, our home still and quiet. I placed her in the crib, which then started a riot. She screamed at the instant her skin hit the mattress, as if it were made from, say, fire and cactus. Now, I said sweetly, your mommy will take you to my wife. I said only, oh no, did she wake you? She took out the baby. I slept like the dead. Round 4:30 or so, my wife came back to bed. And then 5 minutes later, perhaps it was 10, you know who chose to wake up again. Too soon to wake up, too late to redoze. We groaned out of bed and we pulled on our clothes. We were like zombies. I brushed with shampoo. I may have used mouthwash as aftershave too. She nursed the baby. I nursed a sore head. We both wished that we could climb back into bed. We both felt exhausted, felt the old baby blues. I headed for work and forgot to wear shoes. So I turned right around and went back in the house. And that's when I saw spit up on my wife's blouse. My wife changed her top. I slipped on my shoes. For a moment I dreamed of a button called snooze. I buckled the car seat. My wife fixed the strap. When our bundle of joy made a bundle of crap. Did she just go poopy? My wife asked, her eyes glassy. She did not. I pretended. I think she's just gassy. The smell was just awful. We tried not to hurl. I turned on some music. Katie's I Kissed a Girl. I thought I'd done well, but my wife said, no, this song's not okay for our daughter, and so she found some kids' music and turned up the sound, and we learned how the wheels on a bus go round and round. I kept my eyes open, but only just barely, and now baby was quiet, which happens so rarely. We pulled into the daycare and our luck changed a lot. Right up in the front, a free parking spot. With a minivan parked, I opened the doors. I scooped up the baby, enjoying her snores. Behind me, my wife closed her door with a boom, but the baby stayed sleeping. Good luck was in bloom. We strode to the door of the daycare in stride. My wife pulled it open, or rather she tried. She pulled, and then she pulled some more. But my lovable wife could not open the door. I gave her the baby, who let out one cry. I said, if she wakes, I think I'm gonna die. Still the baby stayed sleeping, save for that single sob. I calmly stepped forward and reached for the knob. Still that door wouldn't budge. Was this some kind of trick? Who would mess with us parents? Only someone quite sick. I said to my wife, where's your iPhone, please? It was in her back pocket. It slid out with ease. I swiped to unblock it, then tried not to slam it, as I saw what I saw, and then whispered, God damn it. What's wrong? Asked my wife, and why are you swearing? I took a deep breath and then started sharing. My dear, I said then, it was wrong that we came, my dear. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. Then I showed her the phone with the date on its screen. She read Saturday and said, I need caffeine. We bundled the baby back into the car and headed for a coffee. I wished for a bar. The baby stayed sleeping for some time, I'd reckon, by which I mean maybe 2/3 of 1 second. Her screams went right on through the coffee drive-thru. At one point, her mother and I joined in too. We got to the house, and we got her inside. We both caffeinated, and baby, she cried. Too young for TV, too wound up for sleep. Our kid needed something, ideally dirt cheap. I again asked my wife for her iPhone, while calm. As it rang, I just whispered, I'm calling your mom. Soon her mother arrived, and she said to us two, I'll take care of the baby, back to bed, both of you. And my dear wife and I, we knew just what to do. We went back to bed. That's what you would do too. The two of them played. We lay there and cursed. Napping while on a caffeine's high is the worst. The kid in the crib